I enjoyed Cabela's Ultimate Deer Hunt open season for the PlayStation 1. I didn't enjoy the prequel though, as much where you hunt everything including deer. So when I saw there was a sequel on the PlayStation 2, I knew I just had to try them. I was going in expecting the same style of game, but with improvements, given it's the next generation of consoles. I mean, it's only natural to expect improvements for sequels, especially when they jump to a new generation of hardware. But alas, I was wrong. This game left me suffering worse than a waterboarding session at the CIA headquarters. You have Quick Hunt and Career, just like the PS1 set of games, which is great and all, but since I already technically reviewed this game, I'll skip Free Hunt and just cover Career instead. Here, you can only hunt in one area, at first being Wyoming. After you complete the goals set before you, which is $2 for this mission, you can move on to the next. The controls are awful and worse than the PlayStation 1 games, and that says a lot. We'll cover the controls later, but let's talk about the mechanics during hunting. Now you have the usual stealth meter and health, but now you also have stamina, thirst, and hunger. Yep, it's a survival game before survival games flooded the industry post DayZ of 2013 craze. Don't miss those days of gaming. Survival to battle royale to now live services. There's always a trend within this industry, but goddamn, have the last few just been the worst. Can we go back to war shooters or platformers instead, like the 2000s and 1980s? Hell, I even take the fighting craze of the 1990s back. Just anything but survival. Anyways, each location has its own set of goals for you to complete. Be sure to only hunt the animals you're supposed to. Be careful not to shoot a gun near a building. Be sure to watch the steep hills, as you can fall to your death. Be sure to keep an eye out for predator animals like wolves and bears, or they'll maul you. I didn't get very far before quitting because of the clunky controls and non-stop mauling by predators. Bad controls will ruin any game, because if you can't play a game, then why is it a game in the first place? As per usual with these games, you can be a teenage male, adult male, elder male, teenage female, or adult female. You still cannot be a hunting granny. How dumb. But you can select from a few skins to change the face of the hunter. Outside of that, it's the usual: teenagers are inexperienced with hunting, but are more capable of physical activity. Adults are they all around and can carry more stuff, utilize better stealth, but the stamina isn't there as much. Elders are the worst for carrying stuff and getting around, but they're the most experienced hunters and can track animals easier. Once you choose your character model and skin, you move on to the game.
There is an inhabited building within 50 yards of your position. You may not discharge your firearm. Do not do that again. That is not legal game. Don't do it again.
Controls wise, it's okay, but the fatal flaw is you cannot change the inverted camera controls. This means everything you move up, you move down, and when you move down, you move up. This is hard coded into the game. It cannot be changed in the settings. This keeps throwing me off during gameplay, and I just couldn't get far because of it. The shooting is clunky too. You aim down sights with R2, then use R1 to shoot, square to reload, circle to toggle first person and third person, L2 crouch, L1 to use last item that you used, like animal call, GPS, map, binoculars, etc. Select for inventory, X to confirm, triangle to cancel, and the right analog stick to move around. There's only a few weapons in this one compared to the PlayStation 1 games, and you can only carry one weapon at a time. Due to the more clunky UI, it took me a while to realize how to equip a scope to my gun. This game is not user-friendly as the PlayStation 1 games. Talk about a downgrade all around. Speaking of downgrades, you can only carry up to 5 items at a time now. Instead of your age affecting your carrying capacity, it's just a set limit. This means if you bring a rifle, scope, and outfit, you're already using up 3 item slots. So now you can only bring 2 more things. What will that be? Map, GPS, hunting blind, tree stand, tripod, deer call, scent cover? You got more restrictions than ever, and I'm not a fan of this. How is a sequel, a next generation game, worse than the previous generation?
Sir, are you okay?
There's a few locations to choose from, such as Wyoming, Arizona, Alaska, Blackface Land, Missouri, Florida, home of the Moist Man himself, Minnesota, New Mexico, and Washington. You can select the season, with certain seasons being available only in certain locations. And the map is divided into zones akin to the later PSP games. So you hunt in tiny districts instead of a large open map. There are 3 zones per map. I'm not a huge fan of this change.
We have rescued you.
At the end of the day, I was highly disappointed after enjoying the 2002 season of Deer Hunt on the PlayStation 1. That game, despite its clunky controls, works and is more engaging. This one is just worse than everything. Hell, even the graphics are worse for me to look at. Sometimes that PS1 era warping textures just works in comparison to a game that just looks fugly, even for its time of 2003, when this game came out. So I do not recommend this borderline mediocre game. That's it for this video. See you all later.
There is an inhabited building within 50 yards of your position. You may not discharge your firearm. Do not do that again. That is not legal game. Don't do it again.